All local, all morning. This is the Fox 61 Morning News.
A man being taken out of a home in handcuffs. The video exclusive. Police investigating that home following the disappearance of a young mother in Meriden.
We did have a thunderstorm across parts of northwestern Connecticut earlier this morning, and still a few rumbles of thunder out there. We'll talk about a few more that may be popping up later on today, our severe weather chances, all that coming up.
Plus, back to school week continues, and today we're talking bullying, specifically how to help your child cope and how to start that all-important conversation. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Ashley Afonso in for Erica Arias, taking a live look over the city of New Haven right now. It's a hot, muggy, rainy start. If you thought we were getting rid of that humidity, not quite.
Yeah, and I thought I was seeing things, little flashes of lightning up by the Mass border where I lived in Amarante. That explains it, what you just showed on the radar.
That would explain it. Yeah, a little thunderstorm came through across parts of Litchfield County. Humid again for Thursday, and then it gets beautiful. Nice weather fills in for Friday and into the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. For now, we'll send it back to you.
We're following breaking news out of Enfield this morning. That's where police are investigating a suspicious death.
I got Fox 61's Lisette Nunez there on the scene where the investigation, I guess, is still going on right now. Good morning, Lisette. What do you know?
Good morning. Well, police have been out here since last night. They are investigating a suspicious death. We know the victim is a 79-year-old woman. It's still an investigation. It's a really early stages. Take a look at the scene. This is as close as we're allowed to get right now. And they are focusing their attention at that white home. You're seeing a lot of yellow tape, and investigators have been walking in and out of that home. Now, we are told that home belonged to the 79-year-old victim. Now, this is right near 1st and 2nd Avenue. Now, Enfield police says the victim's family had received a letter in the mail that raised some concerns about their loved one. So they brought it to the police's attention. Now, this prompted police to do a wellness check, and that's when they found the 79-year-old woman dead with trauma to her body. Now, investigators add that the victim's car was also reported stolen. Police say they do have a person of interest, and he is being identified as Anthony Ward, and he is a relative of the victim. Now, Anthony Ward is known to Enfield police, but right now they are not considering him or calling him a suspect at this point, and they are looking for him. So if anyone has any information on where Anthony Ward is, you are asked to contact Enfield police. Right now we're live in Enfield. Lisette Nunez, Fox 61 News.
It's 6:04. We want to get you an update from Meriden right now, where police did take one man into custody in the case of a mother who's still missing.
Sean Pagano is there live. Sean, what can you tell us so far?
Well, good morning. I can tell you that state police arrived shortly before midnight, and they are still here on scene here at 645 West Main Street. This is where 31-year-old Perry Mason lived with her fiance. Mason hasn't been heard from since Friday. The Fox 61 cameras were the only ones rolling last night when police walked Jason Watson out of his home in handcuffs. This comes as police investigate the disappearance of Perry Mason. Police seen searching around the West Main Street property, along the driveway, backyard, and inside the home where the two lived with their children from prior relationships. Police have not said whether Jason Watson has been charged. Perry's sister Val Holbrook was the last person to talk to her Friday night, and after not hearing from her Saturday, which was unusual since the pair talked daily, Val checked her sister's call logs, finding 2 calls to 911 about 12 hours after their last contact.
You know, distraught is an understatement. People say, you know, you look cool, calm, and collected, but I must be in order to progress forward, to move forward. If I start to fall apart, it's too hard for me to try to continue. So I'm trying to keep everything together in support of my sister, in support of the search and finding her, and definitely in support of my nephews.
While Mason's family awaits a safe return, Watson's family is devastated, telling Fox 61 that Mason was good to the kids and they hope she's okay. Family members also confirmed that Watson took to social media Tuesday saying, quote, "missing you," posting pictures of him and Mason.
I hope and pray for the safety of her.
And Watson's sister Keisha has been here supporting her brother for hours.
He's a hardworking, he's a good father. He's a very family-oriented person, and I love him.
No doubt an emotional time for both of the families here in this case. As far as the investigation is concerned, police telling us that we should receive an update at some point today. We just are not sure of the exact time. When it does happen, we'll certainly get it out to you on all of our platforms. Again, we're live and local this morning until 11 o'clock. We are live in Meriden. Sean Pagano, Fox 61 News.
Thanks, Sean. One woman is in critical condition and another was injured after a stabbing in Vernon yesterday. Police say the stabbing happened around 10 a.m. on Bellevue Avenue. The woman was stabbed in the leg. She's in critical condition. Police say the other person had minor injuries and is being treated. No arrests have been made. However, police believe they have all of the parties involved in this incident. An investigation is ongoing.
The state Supreme Court rejected an appeal by the man who's convicted of murder for throwing his 7-month-old baby boy off the Aragoni Bridge. Tony Moreno was sentenced to 70 years in prison back in 2017 with no hope of parole. His son Aiden died after Moreno threw him off the bridge in Middletown in 2015. Moreno also jumped off the bridge right after that, but he survived, obviously. Now, the state Supreme Court ruled 7-0 against Moreno. Moreno was claiming that incriminating statements made to police while he was in the hospital should not have been used against him.
Turning to the latest on the Fotis Dulos case, Dulos was reportedly deposed in a civil case against him. The New Haven Register reports attorneys for the mother of Dulos's estranged wife, Jennifer, questioned Fotis about his finances at a law office in West Hartford. Jennifer Dulos vanished on May 24th. Her family claims that Fotis owes them millions of dollars in unpaid loans. Fotis is also facing criminal charges in connection with Jennifer's disappearance.
Route 121 in Orange is back open right now after 2 crashes shut it down for several hours. Police said last night a woman was texting and driving when she slammed into an industrial fertilizer spreader. And then shortly after that, police said a drunk driver crashed into another vehicle right in the same area. Although in both crashes, nobody was seriously hurt, although crews did have to clean up some hazardous liquid that was spilled on the roadway. That road opened back up just before 5 a.m.
A retired Yale professor is accused of sexually assaulting students while running a research facility in the Caribbean. This is according to a report by former Connecticut U.S. Attorney DJ Daly. 5 students say psychiatry professor Dr. Eugene Redman sexually assaulted them during their time in St. Kitts back in 1994. Redman retired from the Ivy League school in July of last year after Yale President Peter Salovey hired a former U.S. attorney to interview students and alumni about the allegations. And Yale's president released a statement saying he is grateful to the survivors who bravely came forward to report the assault and misconduct to which they were subjected. Sexual misconduct and sexual assault have no place in this university.
Hartford police once again cracked down on people misusing disabled parking placards at the Xfinity Theater. 27 of them were taken from concert goers at the last 2 concerts. Police said people were using the tags to park closer to the venue without paying. And this isn't the first time Hartford police have tried to enforce this sort of thing. Earlier in the summer, more than a dozen handicap parking placards were taken for people who were misusing them at that same venue.
Keeping your kids at ease when it comes to bullies, our back-to-school coverage continues. Why experts say parents play the most important role.
Also, we're talking about saying I do. Coming up, we'll tell you about a dream destination vacation for you and your fiance, but if you want to make it a reality, you might want to make some revisions to your vows before you walk down the aisle. But if you do, we'll tell you how you can score some money for it.
All right, and in the forecast, we are watching the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. We already have seen a couple of showers across parts of Litchfield County this morning. Now, things are going to be a little active this afternoon, so some classic summertime thunderstorms out there. We'll talk about how we're looking for the next few days when the humidity finally drops off and how the weekend is looking. All that coming up. Stick around.
For this morning's Coffee Cup Salute, we're saying good morning to Liberty Home Care Options.
Located in New Britain, the agency provides quality home and community-based services. They're a family-owned and operated agency with over 200 employees. They provide service to Hartford, New Haven, and Middlesex counties.
And did you notice a strong mug game? They came with the spoon too. I think that's only the second or third time we've seen one of those on the coffee cup salute. So kudos. Good morning to everybody there at Liberty Home Care Options. We invite you to send in your coffee cups for us to feature one morning. All you have to do is get a mug and then some information you want the world to know about your business or organization. Get all of that to 285 Broad Street in Hartford. It's an address you can always get on our website.
New at 6, listen to this one. Hotels.com wants to give newlyweds $15,000 for a dream honeymoon, but there's one small catch.
Yeah, there always is. The company wants to be part of your wedding vows. All you have to do, though, is to name drop Hotels.com during the ceremony. Make sure you get it on camera and upload it to Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag HotelsSponConVows for a chance to win. Oh, see, that's even worse. You have to do it just for a shot at it.
You don't even automatically get it.
Wow. Okay, yeah. The contest is open now through September 23rd. I'm not saying to do it or not do it, but if you do it, send us the video too, because I want to see. I want to see how that gets received.
I'm about a year late at this. I could have had a chance.
Yes. What do you think? Would you have done it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's all right.
I picture it's like the year 2035, and it's like, Mommy and Daddy, why did you mention this website in your vows? And it's like, don't worry, it was a thing back then. It made sense at the time.
Everybody was doing it.
Hotels.com.
It was cool. We didn't win, but hey, it was fine. So yeah, out there this morning, it's a lot more humid, and we do have the chance for a few showers and storms, but we got this amazing photo, actually two amazing photos from Karen Gallo from yesterday, and take a look at this. This one right here, oh, just so nice.
Oh, that's nice.
So she said that she went on a summer seal watch last evening with the Black Hawk 2. It's a fishing charter out of Niantic. She said, great people. It's a charity event. You can choose your local nonprofit that you want to support with your ticket donation. So they had a sunset cruise, and there was not only the other picture, but look at that. Just amazing out there in Niantic last evening. So good stuff in terms of the sunset. But you can kind of see how you had the moisture in the atmosphere leading to that cloud cover. And out there this morning, we do have quite a bit of moisture in the atmosphere as it's more humid out there, and we will have the chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we go on through the afternoon. Going into the weekend, we'll just be on the watch for a couple of those showers and storms later on today. We'll send it back to you.
Wildfires continue to ravage the Amazon rainforest. Would you believe that's what you're even looking at here? And of course, that's making for some very dangerous conditions across a number of Brazil cities.
And the number of wildfires in the region totaling more than 72,000 this year. Brazil's Space Research Center says satellite images show close to 10,000 new fires starting last week alone. And strong winds are sweeping smoke into nearby cities. Residents in Sao Paulo seeing day turn into night as smoke blacked out the sun Monday, causing complete darkness for about an hour. Concerned citizens are calling on Brazil's president to take action.
Well, coming up, we're going to have today's top health stories, including some new research about just how quickly vaping can make a noticeable change on your circulatory system.
And experts say putting a stop to bullying starts at home. What they suggest parents do if you suspect your child is being bullied. The woman accused of setting her dead dog on fire in West Haven appeared before a judge. She's facing charges including animal cruelty.
But as Fox 61's Tony Terzi reports, her family members have come to her defense.
Latrice Moody, who police say told them she poured gas on and set fire to her dead dog, faces multiple charges, including animal cruelty.
Ms. Moody, you're not to have under your control or care any type of animals.
But Moody was in no mood to talk.
Latrice, initially you told police that the dog had run away. How come you weren't just honest with police right at the beginning?
According to the arrest warrant affidavit, West Haven police say Moody lied to them numerous times, including covering for her boyfriend, Maurice Jackson, also implicated in this case. He is allegedly seen in this gas station video purchasing a gas can and filling it up early on the morning of July 5th, which is when the charred remains of the dog were discovered in this parking lot.
I think that there's enough evidence out there already that shows this dog was abused, viciously abused prior to having been burned.
West Haven police say Moody admitted to never having taken the dog to a vet in the 8 years that she owned it. And her boyfriend allegedly told police that the dog had a broken leg before it died. But
you heard it, people, you heard it me, with fake news.
That's Latrice Moody's father, Donald, directing his anger at some media for initially reporting that the dog was burned alive.
So you need to get the facts before you put stuff out here on people.
Meaning that the dog was not alive when it was burned.
Exactly, and mean that the bones wasn't broken, it happened after the dog was dead.
The Yukon School of Pathology and Veterinary Sciences determined that the dog was likely dead before it was set on fire and that it sustained broken bones post-mortem. In Milford, Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.
In your Health Watch this morning, new guidelines say more women need to be tested for the potentially deadly mutations in the BRCA genes linked to breast and ovarian cancer. The recommendation published by the American Medical Association that BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes normally suppress tumors. But if there's a mutation in those genes, they can actually increase the risk for cancer. BRCA mutations account for 5 to 10% of breast cancers and 15% of ovarian cancers.
A new study has shown that vaping can impact your blood vessel function after just one use. Our researchers used MRI scans to measure the blood flow in the major artery that supplies blood to the legs of people who are using e-cigarettes, and they found that blood flow changes very quickly after vaping, but then reverses back to normal within a few minutes. Now, that is more or less consistent with what happens in people who smoke normal cigarettes. So that in itself isn't surprising, but this is. Those e-cigarettes people were using in the test had no nicotine. So at this point, the scientists don't know what substance led to that same response that nicotine usually causes. Most vaping metals do contain heavy metals and chemicals that are thought to affect the heart, lungs, and brain. Well, coming up on the Fox 61 News at 6:30, we're going to get you back to Enfield for some breaking news where police said they're investigating an untimely death. We'll have a live report with Lisette Nunez.
All this week, Fox 61 Family First is headed back to school. Join us to find out the latest back to school trends. Coming up next, how to approach your child about bullying. Stay with us.
We have breaking news in Enfield this morning. Police are investigating what they're calling a suspicious death. We'll tell you where it happened and why police say the area is safe now.
And we had a little shower and thunderstorm roll through parts of Litchfield County this morning, but things are starting to quiet down for the time being. We do have a lot more humidity and another chance for some storms this afternoon. All that coming up.
And back to school, a guide for parents, trouble lingering in the halls. We're talking about bullies this morning and how parents can help their kids handle them.
Good morning, everybody. This is the Fox 61 Morning News at 6:30. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Ashley Afonso in for Erica Arias.
All right. Yeah, no, please go take it.
Oh, okay. We have a live look outside in Hartford and New Haven. You're going to need an umbrella this morning for your commute. It's a wet start out there.
Yeah, meteorologist Dan Amarenti here with everything you need to know to plan your day.
Better weather in the 7-day forecast. We'll chat about that coming up in just a few minutes. But for now, we'll send it back to you.
We're following breaking news out of Enfield this morning. That's where police are investigating a suspicious death.
Now, Fox 61's Lisette Nunez is there now where the investigation is still going on. Good morning.
Good morning. Police have been out here since last night, and they've been looking through these brown dumpsters for any evidence here. This is right by 1st and 2nd Avenue, but most of their investigation has really focused at a blue house back there. This is once again by 1st and 2nd Avenue. We know that the victim is a 79-year-old woman. Now, the investigation once again is focused by that blue house that you see there. In Enfield, police say the victim's family had received a letter in the mail that raised some concerns about their loved one, so they brought it in into the police's attention. Now, this prompted police to do a wellness check around here, and that's when they found the 79-year-old woman dead with trauma to her body. Now, investigators add that the victim's car was also reported stolen. Now, police say they do have a person of interest, and he is being identified as Anthony Ward, and he is a relative of the victim. Now, Anthony Ward is known to Enfield police, and right now police are looking for him. So if anyone has any information on Anthony Ward's whereabouts, you are asked to contact Enfield police. For now, we're live here in Enfield. Lisette Nunez, Fox 61 News.
It's a problem in schools all over the country. One study has suggested between 1/4 and maybe even as many as 1/3 of U.S. students have been bullied.
And as back to school begins, parents are being called on to help. Fox 61's Keith McGilvery is here to explain how.
Tim and Ashley, good morning. So you may know I spent many years in the classroom as a substitute teacher and can tell you most schools at this point have a zero tolerance policy, but putting a stop to bullying often starts right at home. So according to doctors with Connecticut Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, if parents are concerned, they should be able to start the conversation, but not with an interrogation.
You can start the conversation by saying something like, hey, I know there's a lot of kids who say mean things to other kids. Do you ever experience anything like that? Has that ever happened to you? And therefore, you're not making it so that they have to come out with them themselves. You're making it something that happens, and then they can respond to that.
So if bullying is suspected, Dr. Walsh says parents need to go to the school, be an advocate for your child, but also you want to be a role model here.
Our kids are watching and listening to us all the time. So if we're saying things that are not kind or could be construed by them as that way, it's really important for us to correct ourselves.
Okay, so we're talking about modeling healthy behavior here. So what can you do if you're an adult with a little one in your life, a young one who may be kind of dealing with some of these issues? Teaching a child how to be kind, that is key. Also, you want to talk about how to resolve conflicts effectively and how to have relationships. Those can all help as adults try to help kids tackle bullying. Also, talking about bullying takes the shame out of it and may help your child open up. It lets children know that they are never alone on this front. Need more information on this story or any of our back to school stories this week, you can head to our website, fox61.com, or our free Fox 61 News app. Good luck with back to school, everyone. In the studio this morning, Keith McGilvery, Fox 61 News.
Coming up, is Spider-Man leaving the Marvel Universe? Fans fearing the worst as Disney and Sony fail to reach a deal.
And later on, imagine seeing that coming right for you. We'll tell you about an out-of-control school bus that crashed through a barrier, nearly hitting all those people. What led up to it? What happened there? Well, let's take a look at what's trending this morning.
You might not see Spider-Man swinging from building to building in the next Marvel movie. That's because Disney's Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures can't come to an agreement on money. Multiple media outlets say Disney wants both companies to chip in 50-50 on future Spider-Man movies. If there's no agreement, Marvel Studios will not produce future Spider-Man films. This comes days after Spider-Man Far From Home became Sony's highest grossing film ever, earning more than $1 billion worldwide.
Well, killing a cash cow. Wow.
Yeah. And speaking of Disney, a remake of the classic movie Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, and Shelter Dogs are actually going to make their big screen debuts as lead roles in Disney's live action remake. And look at this guy.
I love this.
Oh, girl, it's something that, yeah, it almost looks CGI. Hollywood animal trainers went and visited a bunch of rescue shelters. They found Monty, a 2-year-old terrier mix who's playing Tramp. Also, all the other dogs in the movie are rescues. Lady and the Tramp will be available November 2nd when Disney Plus streaming service launches. Wow. Thoughts?
No doubt those dogs will all have homes very soon
Yeah,
now.
I think so, yeah. They'll be richer than we are. Coming up next on the Fox 61 Morning News, up and away. America's newest branch of the military is getting closer to launch. We're going to have details on the Pentagon's new Combatant Command.
Plus, a terrifying crash, all caught on camera, the close call for spectators. Ooh, look at that, who were just looking for a show.
Hey, summer's winding down, but that doesn't mean the fun has to end anytime soon. Fox 61's Rachel Piscatelli is going to take you to a pool where the dogs are welcome for the day. A woman fighting for her life, the victim of a stabbing that happened in the middle of the day. Police are still searching for answers this morning.
Plus, parking problems at the Xfinity Theater, what police are cracking down on, and why they say some concert goers are being deceptive.
Also, the U.S.'s newest branch of the military is set for launch. We'll have the official dates and plans for our new Space Force.
Your top stories right now on Fox 61. I'm Ashley Afonso.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start with the weather because there are some concerns for severe weather. Not sure how sure we are at this point about where, when, and how severe, but that's why we've got Dan Amaranti and Matt Scott today working on it. Hey,
yeah,
Dan,
we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this throughout here on Fox 61. For now, back to you.
In Vernon right now, police are still trying to figure out why a woman was stabbed in the leg Tuesday morning on Bellevue Avenue. Right now, she's in the hospital fighting for her life.
Fox 61's Carmen Chow has a look at what happened from Vernon.
Nothing really seems to be going on at all around here.
Will Baker works at Swiss Cleaners and Uniform Services. It was a regular day for him until he says he saw an argument break out between two women. Seconds later, it led to a woman being stabbed in the leg.
The girl on the bike had a pocket knife. It fell out, and the girl that was on the front lawn there ended up grabbing it and stabbing her in the leg there. And I can only assume it stabbed in the artery or something like that because she was bleeding out pretty bad.
Police rushed to the scene and first responders quickly transported her to Rockville General Hospital and was then transferred to Harvard Hospital for additional care. Police telling Fox 61 they are making progress with the investigation.
We believe that we've identified all of the parties involved in this incident and it's still under investigation. We're still conducting interviews and speaking to people to determine exactly what happened.
Andrew Hakey says he was outside when the stabbing happened and saw the woman on the ground bleeding.
It was like basically it was mostly like on the ground and stuff like that type of thing, you know, so it's like other than that it was just, the one woman was like almost like she was like half, not really looked like she wasn't really conscious or anything like that type of thing.
Police say another person was also treated for minor injuries and is being treated. They added this person and the woman stabbed are from the area. A part of Bellevue Avenue was closed off for several hours during the investigation, and police say there is no threat to the public. Police say no arrests have been made, but if you think you saw anything, you're urged to reach out to police immediately. Reporting in Vernon, Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Hartford police cracking down yet again on people misusing disabled parking placards at the Xfinity Theater. 27 placards were taken from concert goers at the last two concerts. Police say people were using the tags to park closer to the venue without paying. This isn't the first time the Hartford Police Department has cracked down on this. Earlier in the summer, more than a dozen handicap parking placards were taken from people misusing them at Xfinity. The president has postponed a planned trip to Denmark over his idea to buy Greenland. Overnight, the president tweeted he was putting off the trip because the Danish prime minister called the idea, quote, absurd. Just 2 days ago, the president confirmed he wanted to buy the world's biggest island, but said it wasn't a top priority. A White House official confirms the Denmark trip is canceled.
We know in our bones this election is different. The stakes are higher, the threat more serious. We have to beat Donald Trump.
On this morning, the Biden campaign launched its first ad in Iowa as a new poll shows him with a double-digit lead over the Democratic field. As you saw, part of that ad, as much anti-Trump as it was pro-Joe Biden. The CNN poll has Senators Warren and Sanders also in a tight race for second at 15% and 14% respectively, with Pete Buttigieg and California's Kamala Harris in single digits.
Officials in Washington announcing the U.S. Space Command will officially start next week. It will serve as a launch pad for the Space Force, America's newest branch of the military.
As part of U.S. Space Command, The National Space Defense Center is a joint DoD intelligence community organization and will become the center of gravity for defending our vital interest in space.
Air Force General John Raymond has been named the first leader of the Space Command. The Space Force still needs approval for some funding in Congress, estimated $13 billion budget.
That was a terrifying crash during something that's called the Zombie School Bus Race. It happened over the weekend in Clarksville, Indiana. You saw that out-of-control bus colliding into a fence with the crowd just a few feet away. The driver said he lost control when the steering wheel broke, which is what caused the bus to crash into that guardrail and then the protective fence, which worked for the most part, but still so close to being a disaster. I think it's a lot closer than people would be comfortable with. Some people, in fact, were splashed with hot oil, but nobody had to go to the hospital. Right after the crash, the crowd stood up and cheered.
Now we know if you go to one of those, stay a few rows back.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, plus we're less than 3 months away from the launch of Disney Plus, but if you're using an Amazon Fire TV device to access your streaming content, you might be locked out.
Plus content for kids, parents. This one's for you if you're looking for places to find some child-friendly screen time. A big streaming service could be something you want to add to your list.
At 7 a.m., we're talking back to school. We have some tips for parents on how they can support their kids in the new school year when it comes to handling bullies.
6:57. I'm Matt Scott. Nice to have you aboard. Let's get you out the door on the right foot. Here's the issue with today. Temperatures not bad, 82 to 85. That's about where the numbers should be. We had a little bit of rain on the northwestern quarter of the state this morning. That's not a concern. Later on this afternoon into the early evening, a few scattered showers and storms may be on the way. And I can't rule out some of them being strong or even severe. We're going to watch it carefully, time it out for you coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Lots to talk about. We'll do it then. Guys, back to you.
Apple's new credit card is now available to everyone. Hi, right here. Let me tell you about it. It's called the Apple Card, and you apply for it through the Wallet app on your iPhone. The card uses a simple cashback reward system. It gives you 3% cashback on Apple purchases, 2% back on Apple Pay purchases, and 1% when you use your personal card. It's got no fees, and it has some unique features like a slider that shows you the impact on your payment regarding potential interest charges.
Disney just announced that their new streaming service, Disney Plus, will launch on just about every major streaming platform like Apple TV, Hulu, Android, and Roku. But the company never said anything about Amazon Fire TV. This means the popular streaming stick and tablets could be left out of the mix. Disney Plus will contain content from Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and more. It'll cost $7 a month and launches on November 12th. However, there's still time. Amazon could be added before that launch. And speaking of streaming services, parents, listen up. Roku is adding a kids and family section. There's content from various providers, including Bob the Builder, Care Bears, Leapfrog, My Little Pony, and Dr. Seuss. There will also be a mix of free-to-watch items and premium subscriptions. Roku says the content has 40% fewer ads than traditional television and appropriate for kids. The company is also rolling out parental controls.